Ha guys, let's get more news about Warriors, but first don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Warriors work out $28 million former first round pick report. The Golden State Warriors have worked out former Phoenix Suns forward Nassir Little. According to Spot Track's Keith Smith, Little, waived by the Suns in August, also had workouts with the Boston Celtics, Miami Heat and Sacramento Kings. Smith added the 25-year-old Little was the Portland Trail Blazers' 25th overall pick in 2019. He was traded to the Suns as part of the Damian Lillard multi-team trade, despite showing promising signs in his final season with the Trail Blazers when he shot a career-high 36.7% from the three-point range. Little did little to impress the Suns last season. The 6'6" Little averaged just 3.4 points and shot 30% from the three-point range in 10.2 minutes off the bench. Despite getting waived by the Suns, Little will still get paid the full $21.8 million remaining on his 4-year $28 million contract over 7 years via their stretch and waive provision in. Juries have kept Little from realizing his potential. The former North Carolina Tar Heel has not played more than 54 games in his first 5 seasons in the league. Their Warriors have one roster spot left. They can carry up to 20 players in the training camp in Hawaii, which begins on October 1st, but they need to trim that to a maximum of 15 players on standard deals on opening night. The Warriors want to go big, more than just taking a flyer on Little. According to The Athletic's Sam Mamch, the Warriors have an interest entering for 6-time NBA All-Star wing Jimmy Butler. Butler, 35, has yet to get an extension in Miami, fueling speculations that his time there could be ending. Bleacher Report's Andy Bailey views the Warriors as the best landing spot for Butler. If the Heat makes him available, Butler could benefit from the Warriors' picks and bars schemes next to Stephen Curry. Curry's unparalleled outside shooting would give Batum more room to operate in that short mid-range territory he already dominates. Butler's playmaking and in-between game in return would make it harder to sell out on Curry's off-ball movement. Bailey wrote on September 16, Butler is the type of player the Warriors are willing to make an all-in move. No other Warrior besides Curry averaged more than 18 points per game last season. Getting Butler would give the Warriors his best co-star since Kevin Durant during their back-to-back title runs in 2017 and 2018, as Klay Thompson plummeted from Curry's sidekick to a bench player last season. The Warriors have started plotting their next move. The Warriors have been aggressive since the February trade deadline in finding Curry a co-star to extend their rapidly closing championship window. They checked in with the Los Angeles Lakers for LeBron James before the trade deadline, but it never reached James as his agent Rich Paul quickly shut down the idea. After the Warriors failed to make the playoffs, they went after Paul George and Lauri Markkanen, but the Los Angeles Clippers did not accept the Warriors' offer, and the Utah Jazz were asking for the farm, so the Warriors settled for role players Buddy Hield, Kyle Anderson and Anthony Melton, but none of them could provide the star power Butler can. Warriors make sneaky move on former North Carolina star. The Golden State Warriors' desire to improve their Stephen Curry roster has been obvious the entire offseason. However, they whiffed in their pursuit of the likes of Lauri Markkanen and Paul George in the end after they refused to part ways with a few of their promising youngsters, the most notable of which is Brandon Podmski. A failed draft workout ruined the Warriors' dynasty. Now the Warriors appear to be content with finding a few upgrades on the margins, especially with there already being 14 players under contract. But unlike in the past, it doesn't seem as though the Dubs will be heading into the 2024-25 season with an open roster spot, as they are looking at potentially adding forward Nassir Little off free agency per Keith Smith of Spot Track. However, the Warriors aren't the only team that has looked into the possibility of adding Little. According to Smith, the Miami Heat, Boston Celtics and Sacramento Kings have also kicked the tires on potentially adding Little, as they have also held workouts with the 24-year-old wing. Along with the Warriors, Little is a former first-round pick taken 25th overall by the Portland Trail Blazers back in 2019. Alas, he hasn't blossomed into anything more than a French rotation piece for the Blazers and the Phoenix Suns, the two teams that have employed him throughout his career. It looked as though he was on his way to bigger and better things after he emerged as a starter for the 2021-22 Blazers, averaging 9.8 points and 5.6 rebounds in 42 games, 23 starts. He even earned a 4-year $28 million extension as a result of his efforts. However, he came crashing down to earth the following year, and then he found himself on the move to the Valley in the trade that also sent Joseph Nurk and Grayson Allen to the Suns. The Suns then thought that said it was in their best interest to waive Little and stretch the remaining dollars on his contract so they could open up a roster spot. It's unclear just how impactful Little can be for any team, including the Warriors, but teams are looking to take a shot at the 24-year-old in hopes of unearthing a valuable contributor this late in free agency. Nassir Little has shown promise as a 6'5" wing who can guard multiple positions. He is also a fierce rebounder. As a result, he has displayed some potential as a Dorian Finney-Smith-type player, provided of course that he improves his three-point shot and escapes his injury problems. Little has not played in more than 54 games in a single season, thanks in large part to the injuries he has dealt with over the past few seasons. During the 2021-22 campaign, his emergence was cut short by a season-ending shoulder injury, and then the following season he missed 20 straight games due to a hip problem. His stock continued to fall from there, and he never got into the good graces of former Suns head coach Frank Vogel. But will the Suns' decision to cut Little light a fire underneath him and be the catalyst for a career turnaround? The Warriors aren't exactly in dire need of contributors on the wing. They have Andrew Wiggins, Jonathan Kuminga and Moses Moody as traditionally sized wings, with Brandon Podmski and Buddy Hield also capable of filling in minutes at the 2 and the 3. However, Little could give their roster a bit more edge, provided of course that he stays healthy enough to make an impact. Warriors looking to land Giannis Antetekounmpo or Jimmy Butler in Indiana free agency next year. The Golden State Warriors have their eyes set on some pretty big free agent targets. According to reporter Sam Amch, the Warriors are aiming to land former MVP Antetekounmpo through a trade at some point. They also have their eyes on Jimmy Butler as an option next year when his contract expires. Giannis Antetekounmpo has long been a target of the Golden State Warriors, with the franchise attempting to court him ahead of his presumed free agency in 2021. However, Antetekounmpo would sign an extension with the franchise during the 2020-21 season ahead of their NBA championship win. However, in recent years the Bucks' inability to replicate their championship success has found Antetekounmpo lost in the shuffle. Despite being one of the greatest players in the history of the game, Giannis has always made it clear to the team that his priority is winning championships, and he will consider leaving if they don't put him in the position to do that. Antetekounmpo had made some vague comments about looking at his options last year, which led to the Bucks trading for Damian Lillard. The move seemed to earn the confidence of Giannis, who agreed to sign a 3-year $175 million extension with the Bucks last season. Their season ended in disappointment, with them getting knocked out of the first round of the playoffs by the Indiana Pacers after the Bucks struggled with injuries to Giannis and other key stars. The upcoming season will be crucial for the Bucks as they look to make the most of their all-star duo and win another championship. Another failure in the playoffs could lead to a disgruntled Giannis demanding out and the Warriors using their assets to pull off a blockbuster trade. After missing out on several star trades during the offseason, the Warriors are ready to pounce on the next available star, and Giannis is perhaps one of the few NBA players worth breaking the bank over. And you fan, what do you think of the situation of Giannis Antetokounmpo? Leave your opinion in the comments.